All right, I just wanted to go over a couple exponent rules real quick. One way, or I guess the best way to be good with logarithms is to actually be good with exponential form. Because they're inverses of each other, really you could take every logarithm and think of it in terms of exponents. Sort of how when people speak more than one language, they tend to think in one language always, no matter what they're saying. And I would say I pretty much do the same thing myself. So a lot of times when I'm working with logarithms, I'm actually thinking it in terms of an exponent. And the couple weird special cases with logs are actually related to the same thing with exponents. And I think you'll see that in a second here. So the big thing to understand, there's a difference between a base and the exponent itself. The base is what gets multiplied. And when you solve a logarithm, the value you get is actually going to be the exponent. But real quick, couple rules. Remember, 5 to the second power is 25. Everyone does good with the straightforward. The base is bigger than 1, the exponent is 2, and that's kind of general multiplying rules. But it's easy to forget something like 5 to the negative 3. That's not a negative number. It's a small number. 1 out of 125. Negative exponents don't give negative values. They give small values. And if you think about that, when you see the graphs, it makes a lot more sense. Another thing we also are going to have to remember here is that when you take a fraction, rules change. 1/3 to the third power, well, got smaller. It's 1 out of 27 now. But if we do the same thing with a negative exponent, for instance, they're going to grow. So when we look at the graph of logs, there's a very big difference when the base is going to be a positive number that's more than 1, or a fraction that's in between 0 and 1. Well, could we work with 1? Not really, because if you think about it, you keep multiplying 1 by itself, it's never going to change. We also don't use negative numbers for bases, because if you think about multiplying negative numbers repeatedly, the sign's going to keep changing. So those are two things that are never going to work.